Welcome to episode 448, where I'm speaking with Athina, who I met 10 years ago when she was severely ill with Crohn's disease, unable to eat, rapidly losing weight, exhausted, and honestly unsure if she would survive. She shares her remarkable healing journey, how Ayurveda helped her rebuild her strength and vitality, and ultimately transformed not only her health, but her entire way of living. This is a powerful conversation about hope, resilience, and the body's incredible capacity to heal. Welcome to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. I'm your host, Colette. And if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend starting with the first few episodes where I introduce the foundations of Ayurveda and the doshas. To learn more, work with me, or explore my offerings, you can visit elementshealingandwellbeing.com. And for podcast updates, join me on Instagram at Elements of AyurvedaPodcast. And before we begin, just a quick note to say that this podcast is for educational and inspirational purposes only. It's not intended as medical advice. Now let's dive into this episode. Hello and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. Today, I'm very happy to welcome a special guest, Athina, to the podcast. I've known Athina for a very long time. We're going to tell you all about it. And she's come on today very kindly to share her journey with Ayurveda. Athina, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Colette. You're welcome. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And as I said, we go way back. In fact, looking back at the dates, 2016 we met. So it's 10 years.
Yes.
Wow. So as we get started here, let's start with an intro. So you could tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, Athina.
Let's see. I'm very passionate about Ayurveda. I'm an equestrian. I've grown up around horses, and I find that horses are in my life. When I was a kid, all the way up until now, I grew up in Southern California, and that's where I live now in the San Diego area. I grew up in a pretty competitive sports. We did a lot of sports, and we did a lot of competitive sports, and which I loved, and everything was outdoors and very competitive. But I found that over time, it did not sort of gel with me, and my lifestyle's now so now everything is a lot more at a more relaxed pace for me.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So it's like an insight, a snapshot of your journey. So I'd love to go on that journey with you. And so as you said, you're in Southern California, and that's where I met you in person. That's when I was living in San Diego. I moved there in 2015. I met you in 2016, and I was working at a holistic health center with some Chinese medicine doctors. And that's where we met. So tell me about that, but how you came to book a consultation with me in Ayurveda, and had you heard about it before? I don't quite remember that bit of your journey.
Okay. So I was living very, very close to that holistic health center, and I was doing my thing. I was running every day. I was surfing, and I was eating lots of salad, and and again, a lot of some pressures from family, and just my age at that time was just, I was going to school and I was doing a lot. And then I started having just various random symptoms, not feeling well. Those symptoms kind of would come and go, just random things, numbness in my body, nausea, and problems with my eyes, and all kinds of just random things. And then I just got very, very sick in 2016. So it's I had all these random symptoms that would sort of come and go. I didn't know what they were. I didn't really talk to anyone about them. And then 2016, I just got very, very sick. Couldn't eat anything. Everything I was trying to eat, I would throw up or I would get very nauseous. So started seeing some doctors, some Western medicine doctors, and nobody really knew what was going on. And in the meantime, I was losing more weight and I was getting sicker because nobody really could help me. And I had, my mom has a friend that lived in the area that I was living in, and she actually mentioned, the holistic health center that you worked at and said, I know this wonderful person. Her name is Colette and she does Ayurveda medicine. I recommend to go see her. And I had never heard of Ayurveda before. But I was very willing to see someone that was not part of the Western medicine group. And so she gave me your number and I called you, and that was it. 10 years later, I'm here.
Yes.
But
a lot has happened in between then. I can remember that consultation to this day. I can remember it. I can remember where we're sitting. Too. Yeah. So you came in and you were very frail.
Yeah.
And I remember having to get a blanket for you. And it was summer. Oh. It was hot. I remember having to get a blanket for you because you were so cold.
Yeah.
As well.
I thought I was going to die. I was so close to that point. Like mentally, I had sort of given up. I was sad all the time. And this had really just come about in a couple months. Like all of a sudden I was super sick and losing weight. And so that's when I came to see you. I didn't know if I was going to make it, for another week because I couldn't eat.
Yeah, it was very serious and physically frail, but also, as you said, mentally, emotionally, you were just feeling defeated, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have to jump in here because I want to share something really special that happened while I was editing this episode. I had gone into my Facebook business account for something completely unrelated, and a memories notification popped up, which I honestly rarely click on. But this one said it was a memory with my sister, and so I took the bait and I clicked on it. And as I was scrolling through the memories from May, I came across a testimonial Athina wrote back in May 2016, after we first started working together. And I shared it on my business Facebook page. It stopped me in my tracks because there were details in it that both of us had completely forgotten over the years. Hearing where Athina was at that time compared to where she is today makes her transformation even more profound. And so I emailed Athina straight away and asked her permission to share it on this episode. And she was so happy to reread it. And she noted that it contained some vital information about that time in 2016 that we both forgot to mention in the recording, like specifics on her symptoms, the fact that she had to stay with her parents when she was really sick, and her first impressions of Ayurveda. And she loved that it popped up in my Facebook memories. And so here is Athina's testimonial from May 2016. The experience I had with Colette was amazing. I am 41 years old and just recently diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Prior to my diagnosis, I was experiencing severe abdominal pain, vomiting, weight loss, diarrhea, and fatigue. I was so sick, I had moved back into my parents' house so that they could take care of me. I am so fortunate to have a friend who recommended I talk to Colette and try Ayurveda. Colette recommended a 6-week program, and I asked her if she thought if I would notice a difference in 6 weeks. She said emphatically, yes. My first day with Colette was like finally someone was listening to my experiences with my personal symptoms. She pointed out my imbalances and what I could do to improve my health. There were new foods to try, allowing time for breathing exercises, and making sure I continued to work on my artwork. Within 5 days, I had less abdominal pain, less fatigue, and no vomiting. My parents noticed a difference. It has been 3 weeks now, and I would say I am back to my normal self. I have gained weight. I'm going back to work. No sleeping all day, no vomiting, just feeling amazing. Colette has shown me the way to heal myself without any medications. And she is always there for me, promptly responding to my texts and emails. I'm so grateful to Colette. When I reread this testimonial again, 10 years later, it really reminded me of the incredible healing capacity of the body when it's supported in the right way, and of how powerful small daily practices can become over time. And so we sat in that consultation, and it was really about, okay, getting to the root of the issue, but also putting a plan in place that was not overwhelming for you and trying to keep it very simple. But obviously I needed to really work on nourishment, replenishment, rejuvenation, building up your ojas, because that was very depleted as well.
Yes.
And try to get some nourishment into you. So I remember we talked about just putting a plan together for foods. We literally just talked about the most nourishing sattvic foods I could think of, and just made a very simplified plan for you.
Yeah. And I remember you asked me, do you like to cook? And I do. I did. I was eating mostly like salads, like I said, which I thought was very healthy. Mm-hmm. And I was also juicing a lot of vegetables, and I thought that was very healthy as well. But learning now about my dosha and even the seasons and everything like that, it was not the best food for me, and obviously it was not working. And I remember the foods that you gave me to try. The recipes that you gave me, like it took like one day and I was instantly, my stomach was settled, just drinking some of those ojas drinks, the ojas drink that you gave to me, like created for me, and the date drink and eating khichdi, like it took like 2 days, and then I was like, oh my God, I can eat. Now I can eat. Because this food was like, I could feel it like nourishing my body and calming my system down and letting me like start to think clearly. And it was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. And it was just from food, because we didn't bring any herbs or anything, because I knew in the state you were in that obviously very frail, but the fact that you kept getting sick and the nausea, and it was hard to keep anything down. So we really had to just do very simple, lots of liquids, nourishing liquids, as you said, the ojas drink, the date drink, lots of very simple liquids. And then we moved on to like the khichdi and the ghee and really simplified nourishing foods. Yes.
Having your support, was super big. Like I didn't have that at home really, or, I just didn't have that sort of support at home. And so knowing that you were there for me, like, I think that also just helped me like feel more like I can do this, like I can get healthy again. Like just knowing that you were there for me, like that was a huge part of it too.
It was really important. I'm very big on that with the clients I work with. I think the support is huge. And I take that very seriously. And I know we were in touch a lot throughout that time. I was very concerned about you, but it was great to see in such a short time how much your system was really gaining strength and you were really rejuvenating well.
Yeah, I think I thought that was amazing. I mean, that's why I've stuck with Ayurveda for the past 10 years, and it will be my, medicine going forward because it was just, I could feel it instantly soothing my body and my soul. And, you know, I just think it's wonderful. Like all these foods are so healthy for us and they're all available.
Exactly.
All we have to do
Exactly.
is cook and
Yes. And so we started with the food, but as you hinted at earlier, there was a lot of other layers to this,
yeah.
to your journey, right? The food was, okay, we need to just get nourishment in. We need to just get your system back into a stable status and rejuvenate. And then once we got you into a place where you were, like as you said, thinking clearly, you were digesting well, your system was revving back up, as it were, because it was as if it was
Yes.
shutting down. And then there was other layers, because as you mentioned earlier, you grew up in a competitive household. Take us on that journey of you're now beginning to feel better and you're going on this journey of discovering more about Ayurveda and peeling back those layers.
Yeah. Well, I knew that the job that I had at the time was not going to work for me.
Yeah.
So I was a registered nurse at a hospital here in the San Diego area, and just lots of stress that I thought I was handling well, but I really wasn't handling it at all, I don't think. And just lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus, can I say
I
something
was,
else about that? Like working as a nurse, I work with a lot of nurses, and you cannot underestimate the amount of stress that you
mhm.
bring home from that environment. The amount of sensory stimulation from working in that environment, that's something I have to work with a lot. People working in a hospital environment or clinic or anything like that, because it's a high stress environment. Plus you have all that sensory stimulation, the harsh lighting, the noises, and, you're always scanning the environment to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah,
And obviously a lot of stressful cases as well.
yeah.
And then trying to unwind your nervous system after a shift, and in order then to have a good quality sleep.
Yeah, I think I really struggled with that because I would stay awake thinking about the day, in the hospital and my shift, and would have a hard time falling asleep. And sometimes I'd have to get up and go back to work for the next shift, the next day, and I really didn't sleep at all. And then without having good sleep, you don't think very well and you don't think great. And so my food choices were not great. Of course, working in a hospital, if you want to heat up your food, it has to be in the microwave. And I didn't use the microwave, so I'm eating, room temperature or cold food, a lot of cold food. But I just think that if I had had Ayurveda with me while I was working, I would have time to do pranayama maybe or some meditation when I got home, and that would have really helped. Because I do that now to help me with if my mind is running, I know I have the tools now to manage it and to keep myself healthy.
Right. So that has been part of this journey. So you then started looking at the stressors in your life, right? Once you started getting healthy again. And so work was one of them. So you decided that that wasn't for you. That job was not for you.
Yes.
Mm.
I did go part-time for a little bit.
That's right.
I loved being there. I loved the job. And I did go part-time just to see if that would work for me. But, I decided that the best thing for me is to find something else.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And out of that environment. And it, like you said, it was a stepping stone to part-time and then leaving that completely. Yes. And so talk to us a little bit about moving from that competitive mindset with the horses to, okay, now I can, take my foot off the accelerator a little with that and just have it be more enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, I think, one of the biggest things for me at that time when I first met you, 2016, was that, and I know it was affecting me. I didn't know how to deal with it, and it's competitive in nature, but I was comparing myself to people around me. And that was just in like my daily life. It didn't have to do with riding or running or anything, and so I think you really helped me with that, not to compare myself with others. And so I think that was the first step in kind of not being so competitive, but and then not being so hard on myself as far as like feeling like I need to go for a 6-mile run in order to be healthy. Maybe tone that down a little bit, or maybe go on a trail walk instead of running down the street. I started to have more variation in my sports activities, and just so it wasn't so rigid, like you said, and strict. I wasn't so strict on myself.
Yeah. And then you're just learning about your constitution, primarily Vata Pitta, and then how, your diet and lifestyle was affecting you before. And so what would nourish you now in regards diet and lifestyle? And that was a big part of that journey is, making sure that you're not depleting yourself again.
Yeah. And this was all brand new to me. So I never thought I would change my lifestyle at that time, or even the foods that I was eating. But I started to change things. I pretty much immediately stopped eating cold food and also raw food, because I did notice, I think there was a time after I saw you that I was out of town and I grabbed something cold to eat, and then like I immediately threw up.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that like correlation right there. Like, so that was the biggest thing for me, is like, okay, no more cold food, no more raw food at that time. And I immediately noticed a difference. And I think it also helped shift my mind a little bit with getting the proper nourishment that I needed for my dosha.
Yeah.
And then it helped shift my mind that I didn't need to be like so competitive, and like I need to do stuff for me that makes me happy, and not like get a prize that's going to make somebody else happy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And living for yourself. And I think that's what I found when I was discovering Ayurveda for myself. It's like, for the first time in my life, I truly understood myself, like truly met myself physically, mentally, emotionally, really understood. It was like Ayurveda tells you exactly what you've been feeling inside. And sometimes we second guess ourselves and we don't have that confidence, or sometimes a lack of self-worth. And then you're like, oh my goodness, that's exactly how I'm feeling. And yes, I don't like doing this. And I feel much more nourished when I do this activity, and so on. So it's just like reinforcing sometimes what you've already felt inside. And that's the beautiful thing about Ayurveda. And it does teach you that about individuality. And that's why I wish it was taught in schools at a young age, because comparison is futile, especially when we all have such a unique constitution. And so, comparison often robs us of joy, and it's something that we all go through as kids and take into our adult life too. But yeah, that's the wonderful thing about Ayurveda. It teaches us that we're all so individual and unique, and just to kind of focus on our own journey. And so as we continue along, then you went on then and did the cleanse in 2018.
Yes.
Right. I started doing the cleanse out of the holistic center, I think. And then you went on 2019, you did the daily habit. So you were starting to learn more about Ayurveda and have more interest and want to absorb more information. And this led you to studying Ayurveda, right?
Yeah. Like you said, I was doing a few things with Ayurveda, and And like I was just doing things that I liked, that I could feel a difference and kept me healthy with Ayurveda. But I was like, I always kind of wanted to know more. And I felt like I was doing like half of the things. And I just thought like I just want to like dive in and do and learn all about Ayurveda and really incorporate it in my life, because that's how I see myself in the future, like using Ayurveda as my medicine, using it to keep me happy, and not just my body, but my mind and my soul, and um, just keeping me healthy and happy. So I went to school 2023. I went
Okay.
to the Southern California University of Health Sciences and got my Ayurveda health counselor certificate.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so great. And so you were soaking it all up. But the great thing is you already had your own journey with Ayurveda, your own healing journey. So you already knew the benefits and you already felt it
Yes.
viscerally in your body. And now you're going on to study because you're just hungry for more information about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to see the results, it's just like I know it works, and it's food. It's like all natural stuff that comes from this earth. So that is just what I love about it. And I just want to know more, because like we can grow the food that we use as our medicine, and that just makes so much sense to me, more sense than taking a pill that I don't know what's in it and hoping
Exactly.
that it helps or something.
Well, you
Yeah.
healed yourself through essentially diet and lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And I think it's really important for us to be in part of our healing journey. That's why I was asking you about, do you like to cook? Because the more we're involved we are in the process of cooking our own food and using the different spices and understanding it more. And then for me, when I'm working with clients, is to make a plan together. So I'm getting that buy-in, and that there's an empowerment and a boosting of confidence and an understanding like, oh, I can do this myself. And that's the ultimate goal, is, as
Yeah.
with you, is to become your own healer. And as you said, that's why you went to school. You want to learn about it for yourself and to be
Yeah.
able to incorporate this into your life and to become your own healer going forward, which is amazing.
Yeah. And it's just been so much fun. I've helped some friends and family, and it's just so fun to see these little things. I just give them little like tips and little suggestions, and then they try it, and it's fun to see them transform too
Yeah.
and feel healthier. And
And
yeah.
so then you came back and did the cleanse, just the recent one. So we just reconnected
Yeah.
recently as well. You did the group cleanse that I just held in April. And so this was your second cleanse with me. Yeah, because we had done consultations and the Daily Habits program before. So how was this experience this time? You came in with some
This,
mild imbalances, right? No, nothing
yes,
too intense.
yes. Um, this was absolutely wonderful, because I feel like this time around I understand Ayurveda a little bit more. And so I really want to really incorporate Ayurveda in my life like 100%. I'll try. But so with this cleanse, I just feel like I was going for it. Everything that you suggested, I'm going to do. And um, again, I just could really, really feel the benefits of it. Like my body felt lighter, my mind was more clear, I was happier. And I didn't, like you said, I wasn't coming in with very major illness or some issue or anything. It was sort of mild anxiety, mild sleep issues, and just being on the cleanse and having your input and your wisdom about what my day should look like. Just really, I just noticed a difference again
Mm.
pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I still am making ghee balls. I just made some this morning
Great.
because now I love them. And I had some spiced pears this morning, and I think this is just going to be my way of life, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, they're so nourishing. Tailor the food obviously to your needs, but also just bringing back in more structure into your evening because your
Hmm.
evening routine was affecting your sleep, right? So again, it was
Yeah,
bringing back in something that was going to be sustainable for you before bed in order to unwind the nervous system so that you're getting better sleep and you found benefit from that as well.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And that's huge. The sleep is the major component with our health as well. And you mentioned the ghee balls because I recommend those as a snack for you because you're outdoors a lot. And I want to talk about that because that's a very important part of your life now, being outdoors, but
Hmm.
also how healing it is for you and how grounding it is for you. It's amazing. And so I suggested like the ghee balls are a great snack because you're outdoors for several hours at a time, taking care of the horses and then your love for gardening.
Yes.
Tell us
Um,
about it.
well, I have a different relationship with my horses now than I did 10 years ago.
Right. Because you were doing
And
events, right? With the horses
yes,
before, competitive events
I
before.
was doing a lot of competitive horse shows with the jumping, and then that sort of fizzled out in 2020, or 2021, I think was the last time that I showed my horse. So now it's more of just enjoying their presence and kind of watching them, being around them and letting them like be a horse and do horse things
Oh, I love
because
that.
they live together. So I like
Mm-hmm.
to just watch them, see how they interact. And then I know how to interact with them a little bit more, without being, too sharp or,
Mm-hmm.
um, just trying to communicate better with them. But yeah, I'm outside a couple hours with them a day and brushing and just enjoying the presence. I do ride still. I go on the trails and it's more of a relaxing ride.
That's great.
Uh, yeah. And then, but I'm around them a lot and I find that they like lift my spirit and they
They're so
calm me
healing.
down. And yeah,
Horses
they're
have a really profound healing capability.
yes.
Yeah.
And I love just communicating with them without talking.
Yeah.
It's all silent communication, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
And then I spend a lot of time in the garden. In my garden, I grow vegetables. I have fruit trees, and just also watching the vegetables and the plants and seeing how they go through the seasons and learning what little insects are good for them or bad for them, or you know, um, I'm outside a lot interacting with nature and I just love it.
And you're content.
Yes.
As I've
Very
seen you
content.
over the years, I see such a shift in you now and how content and relaxed you are and very grounded.
Yeah. Well, I think, that's Ayurveda too, is, not to worry about the future or not to, worry about the past too, which, I mean, those things come up
Mm-hmm.
for me. But I have the tools now
Yeah.
to manage like that. I don't get caught up in my worries and,
Mm-hmm.
or my anxieties, or, I have the tools
Yeah.
and I know what to eat. Um, and that helps me feel better in my body and my mind. And then like, I know I have the tools for breath work and for meditation. And I don't spend like a ton of time on those, but I do spend a little bit of time every day in order for me to like get through the day, or
Mm-hmm.
it's not really getting through the day. It's more just enjoying the day. And that's part of it now, because that brings me so much joy. Just these different Ayurveda tools.
You don't have to spend a long time doing them, but it's the consistency of doing it and having that routine and structure in your day, allowing time for playfulness and fun and so on. But it's just great. It's amazing to see your journey the past 10 years. Yeah. And so I have to ask, so how has Ayurveda changed your life? It's been quite the journey.
It's changed my life tremendously. And I just feel I'm just so grateful, because I'm like so healthy now. And
you look really great.
Thank you. And just so happy. And like I said, things come up, and then I have the tools to work with that to get back on track. And it's just been so much fun. So I think about Ayurveda every day.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch you. And I think back to the first time I met you when you were so frail and cold, and I was so concerned about you, to see this journey. And the ultimate testament is that you went on to study Ayurveda as well. So you are filled with your own knowledge now, which is amazing. And then that ripple effect is going out to your friends and family as well. And so on that note, what Ayurvedic advice or tip have you learned in your journey that you would like to share with the listeners?
I mean, it's like everything in Ayurveda would be my tip. But, most importantly, I guess, is to find out what your dosha is, so that you know how to work with your body and your constitution. Make sure you give it whole foods, seasonal foods, fresh foods. They are available, and then there's no waste for the plastic waste for the environment. Just whole foods, being out in nature, connect with nature. It's important to cook for yourself and make your own foods, or for your family. But it's important because you want to put your love and energy into the food that you eat. And I don't go out to eat very much anymore. I do occasionally with friends and family and stuff, but I don't primarily because somebody else is making my food, and I don't know what their energy is when they're making it, or anything that they're putting in it.
Exactly.
So that's why I love to cook, because then I am putting the good energy into the food that I'm consuming. And I feel like that makes a difference in the body.
It does, because our digestion starts when we start the process of cooking. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about being an integral part of your healing. And I think cooking for ourselves is part of that.
Yeah.
And so what else? Was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Another big part of Ayurveda that I love is the self-care that you give yourself. That is very important in the daily routine. And it's just important to acknowledge yourself and give yourself the love that maybe you are seeking from another person or thing or something, but you are able to give yourself love. And that is done with some oils maybe, or massages, or giving yourself time to color, or soaking in the tub or whatever. But it's important, I think, every day to give yourself some of that.
Oh, I love that.
Self-care. Yeah.
Well said. Filling up your cup and knowing that you're worthy of this self-care. So important. That's great. Yeah. I think that's key to, especially with Abhyanga, the oil massage you mentioned. The word for oil in Sanskrit is sneha, and the other meaning is love. So you literally are giving love to your body. We rush through our life today. Things are so busy. So taking care of yourself, I think, is really important, and prioritizing that self-care and understanding that taking care of yourself so that you can be there to take care of others is really important. So thank you for mentioning that. Great points.
Connect with your body and your breath. A lot of us don't breathe very well. And
So true.
That was definitely when I was sick. I was not breathing. I was holding my breath a lot.
Yeah.
And that was just like normal for me. But so connecting with your breath, with nature, warm things, keep yourself warm. Yeah.
Great advice there. Yeah. Nature is the ultimate healer, and, connecting with yourself is connecting with nature. We are part of nature.
Yeah.
Well, Athina, it's been so wonderful to chat with you today, and also just wonderful to be a little part of this journey of yours. It's been so great to see your progress, to see you go on to study Ayurveda and to thrive as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation, and thank you so much to Athina for being so open and sharing her 10-year-long journey with Ayurveda. It's really incredible that this conversation came about around the 10-year anniversary, where that was not even on my radar. And it just turned out that the Facebook memory turned up at this time. It was very serendipitous. And so I think it was a really special conversation. And if you would like support on your journey with Ayurveda, then check out my online offerings on my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. And if you have any questions before booking, take advantage of my free 15-minute services inquiry call. We can hop on Zoom and I can answer all of your questions. And don't forget to follow or subscribe to the podcast, and the new episodes will automatically download for you. And if you would like to leave a rating and review, I would really appreciate that. Please come join me on social media. On Instagram, it's Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. And on Facebook, it's Elements Healing and Wellbeing. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.